Welcome to this little introductory video how to play Farewell 40, the card game. I'm going to demo it with my prototype cards that I made when I was developing the game. So they've all got the same patterns and designs. They're just literally cut out of card and sugar paper, so they don't look as pretty as the sort of final knitted designs. But they're the same patterns in the same amounts as well. So you can see there are 8 different motifs, 4 of each colour. Some have 4 cards, some just have 3. So I'm going to shuffle all these up. This is probably going to have to be fast forwarded to make it look a little less painful. So give that a go. So the object of the game is to knit the best pattern, pick up the most points along the way. A pattern is made of 4 rows and each row is just 3 cards long. A row must be all one background colour. So this is a green row. I couldn't finish it with a blue card because that would mix the colours, so this has got to be all one green row. So at the minute, this row is worth 10 points. It's got these triangles and these 2 diamonds at the end. A basic row, if you finish it, is worth 10 points. If these triangles were in the middle, this would be an alternate row because we've got the same pattern on the outside and a different pattern in the middle. So it's A, B, A. That would be worth 20 points. If I was lucky enough to find a diamond when I knitted my first row and create a matching pattern, that would be worth 40 points. So that's the basic scoring system, and you're going to continue knitting rows all the way up until you've got 4 rows, so that's 12 cards in total, and see how many points you can get. So let's shuffle these back and I'll show you how you deal. So I'm going to play the basic 1-player game, so it's without the bonus cards and it's without an opponent, but the dealing and the mechanics are still the same. So I'm going to give each player, which is just me, 3 cards. I'm going to put a draw deck up here. This is the draw pile, and I'm going to reveal 2 cards. So that's the options. Let's have a look at my hand. So I've got 2 of one colour, 2 green and 1 blue. So to begin with, I can't knit a full row, but I could start knitting some of these. And when it's your turn, you've got 4 options. You can either knit, you can pick up, unravel what you've knitted, or discard your hand. So at the beginning, I'm just looking for matching patterns. Now, unfortunately, these 2, I haven't got any of them. None of my cards are matching. So for my first go, I'm just going to draw 2. And at the end of your go, you either discard down to 5 if you've got more than 5, or you draw up to 3. So I've got 5 cards, so I don't need to discard down to 5, so I'm okay. And it's not really helped me out, so I'm just going to have to crack on. So my next go, I'm just going to knit. So there's no chance of making any kind of matching pattern, but I just need to get underway really. So I'm going to knit that row, and if I wanted, I could continue knitting here as well. So I'm going to put that down and that down. And the reason why I'm putting this one here and this one in the middle is I've spotted that one there could finish off this row. So for end my turn, I draw up to 3 again, and so this is my next go. But look, I've already picked up another house, so immediately I can play that, and I'm gonna stop. That's my turn. I'm just gonna knit the 1 card this time. I'm gonna draw back up to 3. So already I've got 2 rows. This one isn't worth much, but this one will be worth 20 points. And again, looking at my hand, what can I do? I'm not really sure really. I'm just going to pick up, I'm going to put 2 from the draw pile. So I'm going to draw 2 more cards. Ah, there we go. So for my next turn, I'll decide to knit. So I can make another blue row. And again, I'm being careful. You knit left to right and then right to left. If I put this down here and that down there, I miss the chance to create an alternate row. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put this card first and then this one. And again, draw back up to 3. So for my next go, I'm wanting to make something perhaps with this. So I spy, they've got the same pattern there, the stitches. So I can pick that up. If you're picking up one of these cards that are revealed, you can only pick one of them up. And that's your go. And you must reveal the next card to be drawn. I'm just going to move them up a bit. Then for my last go, I'm going to knit my final pattern. There we go. I've managed to finish my Fair pattern. I've got 1 card left over. So let's have a look at the scores. So this first row isn't matching and it's not alternate, so it just gets 10 points. The next row is alternate, so that gets 20 points, as does the next one, and in fact the last one as well. So I managed to get 10, 20, 30, 70. Hang on, what am I talking about? 10, 30, 50, 70. I didn't get any full rows. So I finished with 70 points there. If you're playing the solo game, you lose 10 for any that are left over your hand or any that you've discarded. But that's the basic scoring system. The final way you score when you've finished is the number of stripes. Now stripes are different to rows. So I've got 4 rows, but I've got 3 stripes of colour. These 2 blue rows make just 1 stripe of colour. So each of those gets 10 points. So I had 10, 20, 50, 70 for my patterns, and then I get another 10, 20, 10, 10, 10. So altogether I've got 30 points for my stripes. So that's 100 points altogether. If I'm being fussy, minus 10 for that, so 90 points. So if you're playing against 2 players, where the strategy comes in is you can see what they're building here while you're building it. And you're going for the same cards, and the cards start to run out very quickly. Okay, I'm going to clear this and maybe try something else. This time I'm going to do a 2-player game, and I am going to include the bonus cards. So if you're going to use the bonus cards, you need to shuffle them. There, that's my shuffling. And then pick 4, and we're going to lay them out from the bottom, and I'm going to lay them out in a column up the middle, and then turn them over. So the first one is super symmetry. I'll explain that in a second. The second one is blue back. My third row is green back, and the last one is 3 of a kind. So 3 of a kind is pretty self-explanatory. It's encouraging you to make a fully matching row and really score a lot of points for that one. Green and blue back are encouraging you to stick with a certain colour for that row and pick up an extra 20 points. And super symmetry is encouraging you to make a special kind of alternate row. So some of these cards have a natural symmetry, like this one, and they can be included in the middle, of others no problem. So this is a good example, the triangle one here. So this triangle is symmetrical. This row makes a symmetrical row. However, if it was this double triangle card, well, this one has a direction, so it's not symmetrical. This row doesn't have a kind of super symmetry. It's got a direction. So you've got to imagine that you're placing a mirror down the middle of your middle column. So to get the super symmetry bonus and pick up that extra 30 points, I would have had to knit them in this order with a card that had symmetry in the middle. So let's see how the dynamic of a two-player game changes. I'm going to be playing both players, so I'm going to deal 3 cards to each. Let's push these up so we've got some room to see. There's the draw pile. Let's reveal 2 cards. Ooh, they're the same one. I've shuffled them very well, haven't I? Okay, now I'm going to make this an open hand. Don't be confused, I'm not laying these out, or maybe I'll just reveal them periodically. So I've got player 1's got a cross, some directional double triangles, and the big triangle. Player 2 has some directional triangles, got some diamonds on green, and they've got some triangles on green as well. So player 1 is going to go first, and they might decide they fancy one of these things. That might make a nice alternate row later. Or they might just decide to pick up some more other blind cards and give themselves some more options. So let's try that. Let's pick up 2 blind and see what we have. Ooh, that's going to be nice for the next go. So I've got something forming there. I can knit an alternate row for the next go. But that's my turn. I can only do 1 of 4 things: knit, pick up, unravel, or discard my hand. At the end of your go, you discard down to 5 or pick up to 3. I've just got 5 cards, so I'm okay. So player 2 can go now. What have they got? Do they fancy any of that? They might do the same thing. Let's pick up. And that's not really helped them in some respects. They've just got more single cards. Oh well. Player 1's going for this super symmetry bonus. So let's get that. They could try their luck and wait for a matching card, but sometimes it's better to just get going. But a super symmetry bonus isn't a bad thing to have either way. They could carry on knitting, but it might be better to just see what they get with their next card. Because they've finished with 2 cards, they can draw back up to 3. Okay, well they can at least make a row out of that. Player 2 just needs to get started. This isn't going well. So they've got 3 blue cards. And we've got these. Should they just start knitting and then wait for the blue card? Maybe they do that, yeah. Maybe we just get these knitted, get them out of the way, and then see what they can pick up on the next go. It's player 2's turn. Player 2 is thinking, well, yeah, let's just pick up this bonus quickly. So the advantage of maybe not being too strategic is you can crack on, and you can also just crack on by picking up the cards, because once you've finished, the other player just has 1 more turn. So they've lucked out again. My bad shuffling seems to have won the day there. They've got a really good alternate row that they can knit in the next one. Player 2 is in the shit, to be honest. Sorry. But player 2 can't knit this blue row because they've not finished the green one, so they're going to have to pick up. So they're going to pick up 2 cards. But look, they picked up 1 of these. That'll at least make an alternate row. It won't be super symmetrical because these are directional, and yeah, you can't turn them around because the stitches are a certain way. But anyway, but they've got an option for the next go. They can do that. Player 1 is just cracking on. They're just gonna knit again. So they're knitting their green row, picking up the green back bonus points. They're hitting all the markers and drawing back up to 3. Woo! Come on, player 2, pick it up. So player 2 is going to finish their green row. They're going to choose to knit, and they're going to carry on knitting bollocks. And yeah, it's not a symmetrical row, but it is a blue row. It gets them going. And now they could even just carry on and knit this card. They can draw 3 cards now at the end of their turn. At least they've got some options. Player 1 has got this, but player 1 could just finish the game or bring the game to an end very quickly by knitting this last row. But since player 2 is so far behind, it might be worth just seeing what they can get for 3 of the kind. So you can see there's not many cards left in the draw pile anyway, but they're going to pick up 2, and look, this could pay off, because for the next go they've got 3 of these houses. Come on, player 2. Player 2 is... oh, it's not going well, I'll be honest. Player 2 is just going to pick up one of these. Well, actually, no. If player 2 picks up one of these, when the game ends, they've only got 1 go. They can't knit a row. So they're going to have to be strategic and pick up 2 blind, and then at least they can get a blue row. Oh no, they're screwed, because they're going to have to unravel. That was a costly mistake, knitting that one. Okay. Right, player 1 goes, and they're going to finish with a flourish. Player 1 chooses to knit. There we go, 3 of a kind, a matching row next to the 3 of a kind bonus. That brings the game, well, not directly to an end. The other player gets 1 more turn. They can either knit, pick up, discard, or unravel. Luckily, they've got 2 green cards. They can at least get something for this row, because they can't put... They would have liked to put this row down, but the green card's already knitted. They can't use their turn to unravel it, so they're going to have to just finish it like this. Okay, so that's it. That's the end of the game. Now we can score. So, player 1 gets 20 points for this row, because it's alternate, ABA, plus 30 points for the super symmetry, so that's 50. They get 10 points for the second row, because it's not matching, but they get 20 points for the blue back bonus, so that's 30 points on top of their 50, that's 80. Their third row, they get 20 for this alternate row, plus 20 for the bonus card, that's 40, so we're on 120. And finally, they get 40 points for a matching row, and another 30 for it being the 3 of a kind bonus, so that's 70 points on 120, that's 190. Because they finished first, they get the 40 point finishing first bonus, so what, 210. And finally, they get 10 points for every stripe, and they managed to make an alternate pattern, so that's another 40 points, so that is 250 points. Player 2, I'm sorry to say, has not done as well. They get 20 points for their first row. It's alternate, but it isn't super symmetrical because it's directional. So, but 20 points for that. They get 10 points for this next row. This isn't matching, so they get 10 points, but it is blue, so they get another 20. So that is what we got: 20 plus 10 and 20. That's 50 altogether. The next row isn't matching, so that's only 10, so we're on 60, but it is green, so that's 80. They finish with, 80 plus their number of stripes, 1, 2, 3, they finish on 110. So player 1 is the winner. They get the bragging rights. So the more you play, the more you'll get a sense of, how you like to play, whether you like to be strategic and careful and try and get perfect rows and hit all the bonuses, or whether you like to be bold and finish first and get the extra 40 points and put the pressure on the opponent, maybe ruin their strategy as it's been carefully laid out. Once you get a hang, it only takes about 5 minutes to play, And the good thing is you can play the game on your own. I've kind of just enjoyed playing this against a virtual opponent, but I sometimes play just with myself, just with solo, to see what's the most points I can get from a particular deck. So have a go. Let me know what you think. I look forward to doing a proper video again when I've got the proper cards, although I'm very fond of these prototype cards. They're very lovely. You can make these yourself, of course. You can use the print and play. You can make these yourself and play the game, but please also buy my proper pack of cards too. That would be nice. Alright, let me know what you think.